Welcome back. I, 33 female, am a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, I'm a damn good one. I always give my best in everything, and I've worked hard to get where I am. I'm known for being meticulous and serious about my work. I take pride in excelling in my profession, and am always focused on delivering the best outcomes for my clients. Not even the tiniest mistake is allowed under my watch. On a personal side, I'm married to probably the most incredible architect in New York City. My husband, male 34, is the most wonderful man I met in my whole life. He has always been supportive of my career and all my life decisions. He ticked all the boxes I had for my ideal guy, and that list was not simple. We have been married for 5 years and have found a way to balance our demanding careers and maintain a strong relationship. But since we work in different industries, inevitably we sometimes don't understand each other. And because of that, I lose the desire to talk to him sometimes because it feels like I'm not being understood. And since I'm known for being a perfectionist, only a few people approach me at the office to converse and become friends. When a fellow lawyer talks to me like a regular person, it brightens my day. In the entire office, only one person does that without any intimidation. I enjoy talking to him, maybe partly because he's pretty handsome. Let's call him Mike, not his real name. It sounds horrible, but I spent a good while fantasizing about him while chatting, and I felt he was reciprocating, though he was engaged to his paralegal. One night, I had something to finish, so I stayed in the office late into the evening. It turned out that Mike was also there because he had some work to complete. He invited me to have dinner in his office because he had ordered food. I agreed, and we had a meal while chatting, and in hindsight, I was expecting something to happen. One thing led to another, and I found myself with Mike lying on the couch. When I realized, I felt a pang of guilt, but I'm a highly intelligent person, and there was no point in feeling guilt over something that couldn't be reversed. I went home that night feeling guilty as hell, but as I lay down in our bed with my husband beside me, I couldn't help but think how good I felt earlier. I thought to myself that I always did everything right, but it did not feel as good as this one wrong thing. Mike and I continued sleeping together and started sneaking around the office, sneaking into stock rooms and each other's offices during overtime. It turns out that one of my colleagues who hated me found out about my affair with Mike, and being the snitch she is, she went straight to the HR. HR called me and Mike, and therein began the worst moments of my whole life. Over the next few days, they began an inquiry. They dug out the CCTV and confirmed Mike and I were banging in the office, which is an offense. We were both suspended, and eventually my husband found out from a colleague of his whose wife is my subordinate. He came straight home and went ballistic on me. With us being together for 8 years, 3 years dating, 5 years married, that was my first time seeing him that mad. He verbally assaulted me and called me degrading slurs. I started freaking out when he started throwing things which he never did before. One thing that broke my heart was when he said that I disgust him so much that he could not even stand looking at me. It's been a few days since, and he still hasn't come back home. I want to sit down with him and talk things out. I love my husband and admit what I did was a big mistake, but I regret it with all my heart. This is such a trying time in my life. With the inquiry still going on, I could very well lose my job. On top of that, my marriage is failing and my husband is nowhere to be found in this mess. Can someone give me advice on what to do? I'm so lost on all fronts. Update. As you all know, I got suspended from my work, but I appealed and in a way strong-armed them into giving me my job back. I work with a few top clients that are essential to the firm, and they know that. They would follow me if I were to be let gone. So I'm back at work, but I cannot stand all the eyes staring at me. Turns out the issue was not kept private, and issue was leaked outside by the HR even when we settled it pretty fast. I don't think I can continue working in a place where everyone judges me. Everybody's whispering things behind my back or jeering at me. It's unbearable. And just as I thought I could turn to my family for support, being Catholics, my parents condemned me for committing adultery. I made one mistake, and now I'm the worst person in the world. My husband still wants to pursue divorce and started filing for everything. He won't even look me in the eye. That's how much he hates me. And I can't help but think if I deserve all these horrible treatments. We have not had a proper conversation since it happened, and we're still rushing into a divorce. I honestly don't know what to do, and as of now, this community's the only thing I can talk to. Update. Hello again, it's me. Only 3 months have passed, but my life has been turned upside down. I'm now living in Wyoming, where literally no one knows me. I'm officially divorced now, and well, I'm starting over in this tiny state. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. After everything I shared with my husband for nearly a decade, one mistake, just one mistake, and here I am. We never talked, even in the middle of our divorce. No eye contact, not a single word. He won't even let me explain myself just for the sake of hearing it. Had he given me a single chance, I know I wouldn't be where I am today. I would still be married. I'm a darn good negotiator, and I would have explained myself back into my marriage. But it never happened because my husband never gave me the leeway. Sometimes I wonder if I deserve any of this. I don't think I'll ever understand how all these things happened to me. I guess I just have to live with it. From a perfect career with a perfect marriage in the most beautiful city, to being alone in a small town with no career and not knowing what will happen next. Never have I imagined this, even in my worst nightmare. My parents have effectually disowned me and told my siblings that they would also be disowned if any one of them talked to me. Adultery is such a big deal for my parents, even though it was me who did nothing but obey everything they wanted. Well, my story ends here. Thanks to everyone who followed my story, and I hope some of you learned a thing or two. Comments. You know, I've read some wild stories on this platform, but this broad truly is out of this world. OP, you're not just a liar and a cheater, you're also delusional. You talk about being a damn good lawyer and highly intelligent, but it seems like your decision-making skills went out the window the moment things got a little tough in your marriage. You didn't just ruin your marriage, you ruined your career, your reputation, and the trust of everyone around you. Frankly, you got what you deserved. OP's being ridiculous. Of course you deserve this. I can't even begin to fathom the level of selfishness and arrogance it takes to not only cheat on your husband, but to flaunt it at your workplace, and then expect sympathy from internet strangers. Your husband deserves so much better than you. And trying to blame him for not giving you a chance to explain? Come on. You made your bed, now lie in it. OP, your actions were anything but a mistake. They were a series of calculated choices you made to prioritize your own desires over your marriage, your career, and your reputation. You talk about being a perfectionist, but you're far from it. Real perfectionism involves integrity and making the right choices, even when it's difficult. Your lack of remorse and your attempt to shift blame onto your husband and your workplace only show how deep your selfishness runs. You are reaping what you sowed, and frankly, it's hard to muster any sympathy for you.